Good morning, everyone. Following some breaking news out of the White House, President Joe Biden is pardoning thousands of those convicted on marijuana charges. Biden saying this helps, or rather, quote, helps the promise of equal justice and makes it a reality. Thanks for watching National Report. I'm John Glasgow, in for Sean Kreisman.
And I'm Krisha Lenzo, in for Emma Reckenberg. Sean and Emma are home for the holidays. The president pardoning thousands of people who were convicted of using simple possession of marijuana on federal lands and within the District of Columbia. It's the latest round of clemencies from the White House aimed at rectifying so-called racial disparities in the criminal justice system. President Biden also granted clemency to 11 people serving what the White House called disproportionately long sentences for nonviolent drug offenses.
All right, we're going to bring in Melanie Collette. She is the former vice chair of the New Jersey Federation of Republican Women. We're going to be talking about this. Melanie, this is interesting that the White House is now taking a stance on pardoning these people that have had marijuana convictions. What's your take on it?
Because of racial disparity. Again, and this is the part that always makes me really mad. First of all, one of the things that they never take into consideration is the fact that many of these charges were knocked down from bigger charges. Also, those smaller charges contribute to the expansion of the bigger charges and the bigger criminal activity. And thirdly, most of this activity is taking place in those same neighborhoods that have racial disparities. So for all of those reasons, I like to see those people put under the jail and stay there. I have no problem with disproportionate sentences in this case.
My question for you, Melanie, is along those lines, and that why now? Why is Joe Biden coming forward with this sort of, interjection with marijuana charges? Why now?
Because he's struggling with the black vote. And all that this does, in addition, is just spread the mantra and the narrative that all black people smoke weed. But this is the kind of intervention that black people need. There's no kind of positive note that they ever do with the black community that says, hey, let's do this positive thing for the black community. It always is something negative. And quite frankly, it's a reverse kind of racism. It's insidious. It's underlying. We have to keep doing these things for black people because of all these negative things about black people.
What's also interesting, too, is we had reported on this yesterday on National Report, is the President Biden reached out to the President of Mexico about the border. Could this be because of the struggling polls? We're seeing at his poll numbers right now on immigration are terrible. We're also seeing this news here today about pardoning people with marijuana convictions. Is the Biden administration struggling right now to try to make up some ground?
They're struggling to make up ground because they're terrible. They're terrible at their job. Instead of using logic and common sense in these kinds of things, and the Constitution to govern and to legislate, they use identity politics, and they're trying to buy votes from people that, in my opinion, they really don't care about, because if you did care about them, you'd act differently. You'd enact policies that actually do benefit them instead of keeping them down generation after generation.
That's a great point. Stay with us, Melanie. We've got another story to discuss, but we're going to move on to this. House Republicans are releasing records which they say show President Biden emailed Hunter Biden's business associate in 2014 54 times. The majority of these communications happened before Hunter Biden agreed to serve on the board of Burisma, a Ukrainian natural gas company. Now, the White House spokesperson declined to comment on this. Of course they did. The business associate, Eric Schwerin, also did not comment. He's the one that was connected to this story.
Right, and Hunter is set to be arraigned on felony and misdemeanor federal tax charges in Los Angeles in early January. Hunter's attorney calling this politically motivated.
Yeah, this is interesting because we know that there are the emails. We have the pseudonym emails that have been exposed here by the House Republicans. But now we're getting dates and times. And I think that is the most important part of this, is that Joe Biden exchanged emails with his son's business associates 54 times, as we just said. But this was right around that time when all of the shady business dealings was going on with Hunter and Burisma. The thing that we don't know right now is what is in those emails. We have the dates, we have the times, we have the people that were involved, but we don't know specifically what was said in those emails Those have been redacted. We haven't got those. We're still waiting for them. But do you think that'll be the smoking gun with this?
I think it should be the smoking gun. I already feel like it's a smoking gun when you're dealing with, you are using a pseudonym for as an email. You claim that you never met these people, don't know anything about their business dealings, have never been involved. Then, you know, that narrative has been evolving over time. Well, I wasn't financially involved. Well, you were. Anytime you're trying to get your kid money, you're financially involved. That is how these things work. And anybody who is in politics understands that it's even the appearance of anything sketchy or shady going on that is the problem. And with our presidency and foreign policy, when we are wondering why things are happening the way they are, you have to ask yourself, is it because of something in those emails that to people that he doesn't know, using a pseudonym that he is using for no reason whatsoever? Everything's only up and up.
Yeah, 27 emails were sent for the end of June on that second trip to Ukraine by Biden. That was November 21st, 2014. So we'll continue to press for this. House Republicans are going to continue to do that as well. Melanie, thank you so much. We got to move on, though.